Greetings, First Baptist family. It is a joy to be gathered with you again digitally. This is a public announcement describing what church service will look like during the month of May. As you know, our governor, Mike Parsons, has reopened our state economy as of Monday, May 4th. And that means small businesses, restaurants, and churches get to gather again once more. That's correct. You heard it correctly. We as a church family get to gather again and worship services as soon as Sunday, May 10th on Mother's Day Sunday. So yep, we get to do it. We get to see each other again. We get to worship again, and that's great. That's exciting. But there are certain restrictions that have been put into play by both our governor and our Harrison County Health Department. Currently, we are under a public health emergency order at this time, and that does affect how church service is going to look in the near future. Now, what I'd like to read to you is from Romans chapter 13, verses 1 through 5, because I know there may be times where we struggle to submit to our governing authorities. Even the early Christians were tempted by this at times, and that's why Paul wrote to the church in Rome in Romans 13, 1 through 5, as to how he encourages them to submit to the governing authorities. He writes, "Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, he who rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and he will commend you. For he is God's servant to do you good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword for nothing. He is God's servant, an agent of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but because of also conscience." And that's exactly what we want to do as a church family. We want to obey our conscience as we obey our governing authorities. Now, with the guidelines that have been put into play, church service will look different, and I want to explain that a bit to you. First, we're going to be moving towards 2 worship services at this time, and they'll be shortened, running approximately 45 minutes each. The services will be held at 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. We also want to encourage at this time safe social distancing. So that means we won't be having church nursery, we won't be having children's church or the bus ministry running at this time, and there also won't be any Sunday school classes. Furthermore, we are encouraging families to sit 6 feet apart from other households within the church. And so we want to also encourage parents and guardians, please teach your children what safe social distancing looks like. I have little ones in my home, and they're tempted by this. You know, they see their friend and they just want to run up to them and they want to play with them. And so I've had to teach them now, this is what 6 feet look like. You can't do that right now at this time. And so if you could, please teach your children and explain to them what that looks like at this time and when we go to enter into the building for worship. Also, under the current emergency order, we're only able to sit at 25% seating capacity. And that means we can only have 87 people in our church, per worship service at this time. So in order to keep with that count, we're only going to be opening one entrance of the church as we go to start church. And there'll be a volunteer out there who's going to count for us. And once we reach our limit of 87, we want to ask you to please wait until the next service at 11 a.m. If you're at the 11 a.m. service and we reach our maximum capacity at 87 people, we want to encourage you to please return home and watch our digital worship service safely within the confines of your own household. Also, our church will not be planning any special events during the month of May. Our Harrison County Health Department is encouraging everyone to wear masks. If you're not feeling well, or if you're running a temperature of 100 degrees or greater, please remain at home. Nobody knows for sure, what they have when they're not feeling well or what it could be. We just ask that if you're feeling sick, if you're not feeling good, please stay at home at this time. We're also very thankful that our Harrison County Health Department has opened up church services to have a group greater than 25 within the building. But in order to have that blessing from our Harrison County Health Department, They are asking us to enforce social distancing measures as much as possible within the life of our church as we gather. And so what that looks like is Pastor Casey and I will be marking off different areas within the church where you may seat. Some seats will be accessible and other seats will be marked inaccessible. We're asking that you would please take a seat in the accessible pews for you and your whole household, and we'll be marking what 6 foot distance looks like also from the aisle. That way, if people are passing by in the aisle, you still have your 6 foot distance as long as you move in closer into the pews. Also, Pastor Casey and I will be dismissing our church row by row. He'll be taking the blue section of the church and I'll take the main section of the church. And this is so that we can monitor everybody keeping their social distancing as they exit out of the building to keep everybody safe at this time. Also, there'll be hand sanitizer pumps at every major exit of the door. Special thanks goes to Eric Sweat, who is currently building those for us. There'll be 3 wooden stands that the pumps will be setting on. Please feel free to use it. We've got plenty of hand sanitizer. It's there for your own use to keep everybody safe as you're walking out. We also will have a volunteer team who Tom and Karma Hansen will be running the team of volunteers. That they'll be aerosol spraying and fogging the chairs to disinfect them, and also we'll be wiping down the pews with a bleach solution to make sure that everything is safe and sanitary for the next worship service at 11 a.m. Also, all persons who are 65 or older, we want to encourage you to please stay home. That also goes for you if you are immune compromised or if you have any pre-existing conditions. We want to strongly encourage you, if you're 65 or older or have a pre-existing condition, please stay home within the confines of your home and shelter in place. That way you'll be safe, and watch our worship service digitally. Also, our church basement will not be accessible at this time. Currently, our Harrison County Hospital is using it for daycare to their essential workers at this time. And so that will be roped off, and really what we want to do is encourage everyone to be in the sanctuary anyways. I'm even encouraging my kids to use the restroom at home. We'll only be in the worship service for approximately 45 minutes. So if you could, please, even consider encouraging your own children and yourself to use your restroom at home and then come to the worship service and enjoy our time with one another. Also, we're not going to be passing around the offering plate at this time. Instead, we're going to have offering buckets, and those will be placed as well at every major exit as you're leaving. And so if God lays it on your heart to give, we just want to encourage that, to drop your offering in the bucket. And we wouldn't be able to continue to do the ministry we're doing without your sacrificial offering to the Lord. So thank you so much for giving at this time, and it's just going to look a little bit different during the worship service. I know that these are unorthodox measures that we're taking. This definitely doesn't look normal. I know we want to get back to a sense of normalcy, but hey, remember this. We get to see each other again. We get to gather and worship again. So let that excite you. You're going to get to see other families, other households, and worship the Lord together. And I got to tell you, I can't wait. So church family, know that I love you, I miss you, and I will see you very, very soon. God bless you.